the Enterprise Digital Podcast with Ian Aitchison and Barclay Ray, navigating the ever-expanding service management maze.
Hello, it's the Enterprise Digital Podcast. We're here once more and we're happy in our work, smiling, carefree, just ready for whatever the ITSM world will throw at us. I am still Barclay Ray. As ever, I am joined by the incorrigible, intractable, ineluctable, Ian Aitchison, how are you?
Bit grumpy today, to be honest, Barclay, but don't let that hold us back from having a good podcast.
Let's do role reversal today. I'll be cheerful and
yes, you be cheerful optimist, and I'll be curmudgeonly grouch. How about that? Role reversal.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, it's a short podcast today. We're just going to have a quick chat about a couple of things. Looks like our guest has maybe fallen down a culvert on the way to the studio. Hasn't quite made it, but normally, regardless of whether we have a guest, at this point, you would be delighting us all with some new trivia. Ian, do you have any?
Yeah, it's only a quick piece of trivia, very fast, but we can rely on trivia to turn up every time. So let's hear this interesting story. Did you know there's a little company out there called AINOS? AINOS. AINOS.
See that again?
Literally, until that moment, I didn't realize that was quite funny to say. Anyway, so there's a little company called, do you know what they do? The clues.
I can't imagine. Do they process stuff? No. Tell me about them. This is the best.
I'll edit this. I've got the giggles. Yeah, I've got the giggles. Anyway, so let me tell you about this little company. They've been in the news a little bit recently. There's been a Wall Street Journal article published about them, so you'll see them bouncing around a little bit. Technology, new technology, AI technology again, Barclay. But is it AI vision? No. Is it AI speech? No. It's AI smell. Yes, AI knows. AI knows, that's the name, without the E at the end. AI knows without an E. And they have recently introduced their amazing AI knows, and already it's being, I'm just reading on my screen here, it's being rolled out into early stage commercial deployment. Their AI knows, it goes into semiconductor manufacturing environments where precise chemical control is really important, and they use it to digitally smell the air to make sure that everything is at the right mix. And it can be used in many other ways as well. It is quite heavy AI processing to work out what a smell is, and a good smell and a bad smell and a nice smell, and what a smell indicates. And it seems to be the cutting edge of the latest AI innovation. So I'm looking for it new in IT tools, service management tools, DEX tools. Come on, folks, build your AI smell capability. You've already got AI conversational chat and AI knowledge recommendation. I think there should be some AI smelling in our tools.
I'm just discarding so many bad jokes and bad comments on that as we speak. I'm just writing them all off to say, no, that would be childish and stupid.
Yeah. So, well, apparently I'm just reading again, approximately 200 AI nose systems are being implemented at the moment, alongside early integration into robotic and quadruped inspection platforms. Quadruped, little robot dogs that can smell. It's amazing. The world we live in.
One of the things that dogs do is they're very good at smelling.
They are very good. Yeah.
But anyway, the thought of 200 AINOS implementations are probably going to ruin this podcast. Anyway, let's stop and gather our senses. We don't have our guest, thankfully, because whoever it was would have probably ruined their career. But we'll have let's have a quick glass of pale ale and a small pork scratching, I think, would be appropriate at this moment. Right, composure has been recovered, and we're sensible and serious now. We thought we'd just have a quick chat about the last week we were at the SDI SPARK show in Birmingham, UK. And we had a little stand there, and I did a presentation, and we saw lots of people and talked to lots of people and watched a few presentations. So let's just reflect on, I guess, the show initially, and then just any of the ideas or themes or learnings that came out of it. What was your overall impression, Ian? What did you think of the show?
My overall impression was it was pretty healthy. Industry's healthy. Lots of people there.
Yeah,
it was busy. There was no sense of places being kind of half empty rooms, and no lack of energy. Lots of people relatively early in their careers, which is really good, and that's kind of the purpose of the SDI Spark event. It's bringing in teams of service desk staff for awards and prizes and things. So you naturally get quite a lot of people at relatively early stage career, which is really nice.
Really good. I mean, lots of people I've never met before or seen. When you go around the conference circuit, you see a lot of this. But yeah, there was lots of and as you say, young people, which is very helpful.
Yeah. So in that way, I think it's very healthy. Yeah, I mean, those are my first thoughts. It was a good, healthy 2-day event. What were your thoughts, Barclay? What do you think?
It's quite difficult because I've been going to that and ITSMF for something like about a millennium. It's several thousand years, so it's always difficult for me to see them. I agree, though. I think it was a very healthy one. I think it was very positive and great to see some. It's a good number of 500 or so, and lots of vendors and lots of presentations. I mean, I tend these days not to go to a lot of presentations. I try and just pick them a few out. And I saw one or two that were very good. I saw, you get the kind of round of those that are sort of motivational to get everybody going, and some of those work well, some of them not so well. But it was great to see a good cycle of people coming through in that. Not just the same old codgers like me and whatever. I was presenting simply because somebody dropped out, and that works for me. I think there's plenty of room for new people to come in and speak, and lots of engagement as well. There's quite a lot of good stuff on LinkedIn, and I broke up the cycle of every 2 minutes another ITIL version 5 certificate coming up, but some good conversation on that as well, and ITIL people that were there, and yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it actually. It had a kind of freshness to it that.
Yes, it did. Yes, fresh. I think is a good being one of the names in the show hall, of course. But yeah, it had a light freshness to the event. I thought was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have any highlights in terms of sessions that you saw? Anything that really stood out for you?
Yeah. There were a few. One of the highlights for me, in fact, I've got 4 listed here, but one of them, Mark Bowyer from Softcat, did a day one first morning presentation to the main general session on why great service desks shouldn't exist. And you remember you and I have in the past talked about the end of the service desk, and I'd often link that to the vision of the DEX industry, which is where DEX and remediation and detection and eliminating the need for incidents and eliminating contacting the service desk. That's where a lot of their minds and sights are on in the future. And Mark gave a really good presentation, I thought, very clean, very simple. He didn't reference the term DEX in one way at all. He wasn't talking about DEX. He was talking just about the future of service management and how it is much more zero touch, and how the role of support in the future will be and already is changing to be much more predictive, much more building automations, much more seeking the causes of incidents rather than receiving and resolving them, which is the DEX vision. So I'm really pleased to see that. I thought it was great. And it was totally 100% where my mind is at as well, actually. I thought it's very good.
He is good. He spoke at ITSMF UK as well. So I mean, I sat through that in Milton Keynes, and I saw some or most of his session, and then I followed it anyway. So I think he does hit that. I mean, I think the challenge sometimes is that people might see that as being quite challenging, particularly when they see it on LinkedIn. It's good when you hear it from him direct.
Yeah, needed that. It needed him to explain it. It needed him to talk the stories and explain why things are important.
Yeah, he presents very well. His presentations are very well thought out and put together and so on, and that really is good. I mean, the other side for me there is, just one thing that I did do recently was a little bit around research on how many service desks there are still in the world, and there's like 3 million or something, and there's like 25 million people working there. It's not just going to disappear overnight. That's the thing that.
No, I think his point is the role and the work changes. The people there, what they're there for, changes.
It's the narrative that I think, and I think we are getting to that narrative now. That's my point there, and he's one of those that's very good at it and is very good at laying it out. And we need more of that. I think more simple clarity, and certainly I do see a lot of really positive development in that area that doesn't necessarily involve people losing their jobs or the end of of an institution. It is definitely a progression and an evolution, and that story just needs to be clarified more. So I think very positive. What else? Who else did you see that you?
Yeah, I got two others that link together. Maybe three actually. So, friend of the show, Roman. I popped into his ITIL experience session. So, the new ITIL experience. That's a big book, great big book there, which brings experience into the global best practice new version. And just in summary, it's quite a small session. You've got one too. Well done. We both got one. What I liked from that session was, firstly, that's coming in. He was talking about experiments. He was talking about hypotheses. He was talking about failures. He was talking about the importance of trying things out, finding out what needs to be done. And that connects to that eliminating the source of future incidents, about finding out what we need to change to make things better without waiting. And the other good thing from that I really liked, there's a question I asked him at the end. Thank you, Roman. He confirmed that ITIL experience is not just about feedback from employees and service consumers saying whether they are happy or not. Right? That's never what experience is about. It's about also measuring whether they are receiving a good experience, whether they know it or not. It's about eliminating friction, reducing time. It's about seeking what is causing a not good enough experience, whether they say so or not. And I think that's an important part of it. And he reassured me that was there. And that connects directly to the ever effervescent Matt. I'm looking for the title of his. Here we are. Matt Barron. Wonderful experiment management, how I learned to survive and celebrate mistakes. And then once again, that same thing, experiment, try things out, and moving into a product management mindset. He didn't use those words, I think, but what he was describing was exactly the mindset of modern product management, of A/B testing, of putting things in front of people, finding out what works, what makes things better, what fixes things. Experimenting mindset is a proactive one and connects back to Mark Bowyer's one that we were talking about just now. It's about finding out and trying to make things better rather than waiting to be told. And the last one, then I'll ask you for your others, Bartley. My last one was, there was a storytelling session, wasn't there, at the start of day 2?
Alistair Reid-Pearson.
Yes, let me read it. Alistair Reid-Pearson. It was okay as a presentation, but I think the nice thing about it was he was explaining the power of, when you communicate complicated things, it really helps to tell them as stories. People connect and understand what you're explaining. If you talk about characters, if you talk about real people and what happened to those people, and if you go through a journey arc, it's a great way of communicating things rather than putting up loads of stats and tables and graphs. You talk about somebody's journey, and we're back to the experience again, a little bit of the workplace, and you talk about somebody having a bad experience and a good experience, but you tell the stories. So those are my 4 highlights. 4 was quite a lot. 4 highlights. Very good. How about you? What else did you have?
I went to see Alistair's session because I have worked. I actually worked with his previous organization. I still do with his previous organization, and had met him a couple of times. But somebody said, "Oh yeah, and he writes books," and I was like, "Oh, really? Didn't know that." And then other people I know him and backed it up. So I went and had a look some time ago at his books. I thought he covered a lot very well. I thought there was a lot of very good stuff there, and a lot of people that I know got a lot from that maybe hadn't had it before. The one thing I think he might have just missed in that, just the last piece in what you said there, because there's a colleague and friend who works in Portugal, Rui Soares. I don't know if you know him. He's been around for a long time. He does little cartoons and things, but he's been on storytelling for 25 years. And from him a few years ago, I got a lot of stuff that I use almost all the time about the fact that when you tell a story, or when you're told a story, you actually have to create it in your own mind. So the act of reading slides and things is passive. When you look at data, you don't have to take it in. You can look at it and go, okay, that means something to me at the moment. But if somebody actually tells you a story, you have to sort of visualize it, and it uses more brain power, a lot more brain power than just reading slides.
Yes.
That means it sticks a lot more. So the idea being that if you tell a story, it actually sticks much, much better than if you just give somebody a document and say, well, there you go, read it, or there's a slide with 25 bullet points. And that to me is one of the most powerful things around on storytelling, is just why it's so important to do that, to know that and understand it.
And I've been lucky enough to be involved with quite a few vendor demonstrations recently for various reasons, and so tool demonstrations, service management technologies mostly, and it's exactly that. The good ones, they're telling the story of somebody's inability to do their job because something has happened, and they follow the journey of how you make that person able to do their job and how it escalates and where it goes and how those other people deal with it. The bad ones list a series of features and say, look, here's this feature, and you switch off. Your brain doesn't connect. You're not aware of the real impact of using the technology, which is what the story-based one shows you, the real impact.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think we had evidence of that at that conference as well. I think it was quite notable. There were 1 or 2 instances that one actually, which was a sort of keynote, which obviously is paid for. And it's a great opportunity to get in front of an audience and capture their ideas and imagination. And it was a demo with a few techie guys, and just how that still happens in this day and age, I just do not understand, because surely any serious commercial organization from a marketing and PR point of view would be going, no, this is an opportunity to bring people. We're not there to do a demo into a conference audience. That's just mad. And I don't really know how it happened, but there was at least one big one, and then 1 or 2 other minor ones, I think. And it still goes on. It's not just a spark. It still happens, and they need to learn from that, unfortunately.
Let me drop in one positive as well that I want to say. Well done to SDI and that day 2 morning presentation on the storytelling again from Alistair Reid-Pearson. Well done for not asking everybody in the room to stand up, sing, shake hands, give each other a hug. It's the morning after a big night out. You must be all really tired. Let's wake up the room. Everybody sing, everybody hug, everybody. It's not what you need. You want to sit quietly in the dark and watch something and listen to something interesting. You don't want to be stood out and danced around. I don't want that. Not interested.
Yeah, I know. Maybe people younger than us, Ian, might get some succor from that. I don't know.
Grouchy today.
I think it's certainly worth saying, you know, well done to Emma and Lauren at SDI and their teams, and to Mauricio for his first, and John for their, you know, their hosting and you know, it all went off really well, I think, and that was very positive. So,
and let's call out Mauricio's suit as well. Nice job, Mauricio. Very nice three-piece suit.
He must go to a very good tailor. Yeah, it was good to catch up with him. I hadn't seen him for a while, and we went and had some drinks afterwards. This is the time maybe to start highlighting what we're going to do at SITS.
Yeah, what a good idea. What are we going to do at SITS?
Well, at SITS we're going to do two things. Three things. No, four. Actually, seven. No, we're going to do a keynote on the second day as the podcast, and we're going to talk about our history of doing that over the last 5 or 6 years, where we are now and what we think going forward. We're going to pull in data that we might capture. We're going to capture from various social and other sources beforehand. But also, before we do that, we're going to have a film crew, and we're going to have a little place where we're going to film interviews over the course of the day and a half before our session. So if anybody would like to come and talk to us, do a bit of a vox pop or a fully in-depth interview, you'll be very welcome to do that, and you'll see us on the Enterprise Digital Podcast. It's not really a stand; it's just a little corner that we've got, and we'll be there, like looking for information, looking for gems of wisdom and opinion over the course of the show. So we look forward to that for sure.
Yes, looking forward to it, and we'll be there on the stage doing the, as you say, Enterprise Digital, the keynote, rather than the podcast. So that'll be fun too.
Will you be in costume for this?
That is at this point undecided. So I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, okay, let's leave that one with a bit of jeopardy.
Yes.
And there will be more coming out on that in the next few weeks on our data capture and just our general availability around the show for that. I'm really looking forward to that. That's a couple of months' time. Okay, I think we're probably done. I'm just going to go and grab myself a nice cold glass of something strong that will just knock me out, and that'll be me for the day. So, don't know about you.
Good. Well deserved. I'll go and have a nice yeasty ale this evening, something that smells good. So I don't have to use my AI nose. I use my real nose.
Your onus for that, or your anus, or whatever it is. Yeah. Sometimes the marketing people just come up with stuff that's, I think we'll leave it there. Thanks very much.
We'll leave it there.
See you next time on the Enterprise Digital Podcast.
Thank you. Goodbye.